Right now at 6, after a bicyclist was killed at a busy intersection in Verona, we are asking safety experts what riders should keep in mind.
And new video shows the start of an explosion and fire at a Madison gas and electric substation. What we are learning about the investigation now.
Plus, after 2 crashes on East Washington Avenue, neighbors in that area are asking police to do more to stop street racing.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
A crash that killed a 56-year-old bicyclist in Verona yesterday afternoon is still under investigation.
According to an incident report, the bike rider did not stop at a stop sign on the bike trail. Gabriela Buquera shares more on the laws and safest practices to keep everyone a bit safer.
Bicyclist Valerie Flogel was crossing Highway PD on the Military Ridge State Trail when a Ford Escape collided with her. This trail is very popular among bikers, and there are signs for them to yield to oncoming traffic. Experts say visibility is one of the key factors in staying safe on the road.
It's great to be able to go, but it's more important to stop.
Bikers share the road.
You're navigating those same rules with not just other bikers, but also vehicles and people on one-wheeled scooters and people who are jogging on the side of the road.
And the rules with everyone.
Bicycles are very quiet if properly maintained and people can't see you coming.
Visibility is an important factor for riding with or crossing traffic.
We have front and rear lights that are really important to have if you're going to be riding at night.
Safety recommendations include
always wear a helmet
and
try not to wear headphones while you're biking.
Slowing down.
Red lights actually mean something.
Is critical for assessing potential threats.
When you approach those roadways, stop and make sure that there's no oncoming traffic. These are vehicles that are traveling at highway speeds in this situation, and they're just not able to come to a stop as quickly as you would think.
There's also things drivers should keep in mind.
Give them their 3 feet. Bicycles absolutely need that 3 feet.
Always respect others on the road.
If everyone were to cycle like they were a vehicle, then they'd be extremely dangerous to the people around them.
Safety experts say it's also important to make sure a bicycle is in good shape before riding. It's always a good idea to test the brakes and tire pressure before heading out.
Always some good advice there, especially in light of what happened. Gabby, thank you.
Thanks, Gabby. To weather now, much cooler, much more comfortable when you compare it to last week. Here's our first alert forecast with meteorologist Chris Reese. Chris?
Hey guys, I'll tell you what, it feels absolutely amazing to get outdoors if you have the chance to do so. Plenty of sunshine and yes, lower humidity out there as well. Here's a live look from the station camera as we speak, just showing you how beautiful of a day it absolutely is. We've had some cloud cover earlier, a lot of that coming down from the north. Notice that trend in the cloud cover that's following the northerly wind that we've had in play. They're coming out of the north at 8 miles per hour as we speak. Temperature-wise, we are at 75. The dew point continues to drop into the 50s and upper 40s. We did make it to 76 for your high today, which is oddly enough a bit cooler than average compared to where we have been, but temperatures are still into the mid and upper 70s for a lot of spots. As we go through the rest of the day, expect those temperatures to continue to cool off. We'll be at 70 by 8 o'clock, the mid 60s overnight, eventually going into the upper 50s. Guys?
All right, Chris, thank you so much. A suspected armed robber is in custody in Beloit tonight. Police found 40-year-old Michael Pisani just after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Around 9:30 this morning, he drove away from officers, according to police, who tried making contact with him at the Last Lap bar. His car was later found in the 2000 block of Portland Avenue near Cunningham Intermediate School. 3 hours later, police say they found Pisani a few blocks south of there. He was arrested for that armed robbery incident, as well as other charges from other jurisdictions. New video now of the start of a fire and explosion at a Madison gas and electric substation here in Madison. This happened Friday morning at the facility just off East Washington Avenue. 3 days later, we are still left with plenty of questions about how this happened. And tonight, officials with MG&E tell us that fire started with a piece of equipment from the American Transmission Company.
Rose Schmidt joins us live now from the Blount Street substation where it all started. Rose?
Yes, well, ATC is leading the investigation into what happened here, and you can see this part of East Main Street is still closed off 3 days after that fire and explosion. The fire started around 7:40 a.m. on Friday when a transformer blew at this substation near MG&E's main plant. It caused a second fire at a substation near the UW campus. The company says MG&E equipment was damaged, but the fire started with equipment owned and operated by ATC. Crews had to de-energize the transformer, leading to thousands of customers losing power for several hours. Nearby business owners say they are glad to be back open.
We have been trying to figure out what exactly we lost in revenue that day. Luckily we are insured for this sort of anomaly. So we're okay, and we're going to be fine.
A spokesperson with the state's Public Service Commission says after the utility companies finish their investigation, the commission will review the results and decide if it needs to be involved further. MG&E says it is working with ATC as both utility companies work to assess and repair the damaged equipment.
There's some pretty amazing pictures there. Rose Schmidt reporting live downtown. Rose, thank you. The UW system will pay a former student $325,000 to settle claims that a professor sexually harassed her. The student sued in October, alleging UW Oshkosh failed to take action against former art professor Michael Bites. A 2015 UW Oshkosh investigation found Bites violated system policy. He resigned in June of 2015 and got a job at the University of Colorado in Boulder 2 months later. New at 6, the State Department of Natural Resources is asking wastewater treatment plants to test for PFAS, a man-made chemical used for decades in products like firefighting foam, non-stick cookware, and fast food wrappers. Research suggests PFAS can decrease female fertility and lead to lower birth weights. DNR officials say they've reached out to 125 municipal wastewater plants that are likely to receive wastewater from facilities that use PFAS. The goal is to understand how the contaminants can end up in our drinking water.
People living along East Washington Avenue say that racing is a constant problem along that stretch.
They blame that dangerous driving for 2 crashes that closed the road for an hour Saturday night and injuring several people involved. Amanda Quintana joins us. She has more on this story. Amanda?
Racing on East Wash is nothing new. It's been happening for years. It used to be called cruising the Wash, but no matter how long it's been happening, it's dangerous, and we saw why on Saturday night.
Screeching tires, loud exhaust. You hear a lot of motorcycles at low gears, so they're revving really high. It's constant up until sometimes even 2 in the morning.
For residents on East Washington Avenue, those sounds are nothing new.
You wake up in the middle of the night, there's someone racing again, and fall back asleep. So I definitely feel everybody in the neighborhood can notice it, and I don't think I'm the only one who's equally as frustrated about it.
She's not. Christy Jorgensen is one of many viewers who were quick to suggest Saturday's crashes were a result of racing. One viewer commented that she saw the drag racers and the crash that happened because of them. Jorgensen is not surprised, saying she hears racing every single weekend.
And the fire trucks will go by, and we'll ask each other, did somebody crash on East Wash? Because, it's something that happens all the time.
Although Madison police has not completed their report yet, notes from the original responding officer show one of the drivers was cited for racing and failure to control their vehicle, along with no insurance and a suspended license. But the other car suspected of racing was not found.
You're out there making really poor choices, endangering the lives of others.
Some say they've complained to MPD wanting officers to do more to stop it, but every weekend it continues.
Ideally, it would be great if we could maybe see a little more police presence in the area to try to discourage it, but really it just comes down to common sense.
The good news is it sounds like no one was seriously injured in these crashes, but this has been happening for such a long time that it is likely to continue happening.
Amanda Quintana reporting that. Amanda, thank you.
Construction workers across the state will have more opportunities for continuing education. This afternoon, Wisconsin laborers hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony for their newly expanded training center in DeForest. They now have double the amount of classrooms and a 4th training bay to serve more than 3,000 workers each year. The president of the Wisconsin Laborers District Council says safety and skills training are the backbone of their union.
Our primary goal as a union is to make sure that when our members get up and go to work in the morning, that they have a safe working environment so they can return home to their families.
Governor Tony Evers, you see him right there. He was at the ribbon cutting ceremony today and says the training center will also help high school graduates enter the construction field. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes highlighted the fact that the training comes entirely from the laborers union, not from taxpayer dollars.
More local news now. A Wisconsin-themed boutique store on State Street is officially closed. Tailgate was located inside the Hub apartment complex, selling graphic T-shirts with vintage logos and Badger gear. It was in business for 3 years. According to the store's Instagram account, they plan to open a new store in Milwaukee this fall.
Next at 6, today is the official start of construction for a new affordable housing unit on East Washington Avenue. We'll take a look at those plans.
And there's more local news ahead. An ambulance company in Baraboo has racked up more than $1 million in unpaid bills. What they're doing to try to get patients to pay up, that's tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Impress.
Right now, thousands of people are still without power in east central Wisconsin following severe storms over the weekend. You're seeing video here from Appleton, where about 7,000 people are still in the dark due to downed trees and power lines. The National Weather Service has confirmed 9 tornadoes touched down across the state from Friday night through Saturday morning. Governor Tony Evers has declared a state of emergency, allowing the National Guard to help local officials with cleanup.
And more than 1,600 people in Wisconsin Rapids are still without power after a major transmission line was damaged in those storms. Utility crews report at least 300 trees down just on power lines alone. The drive-through line at McDonald's there stretched into the street this morning after people were forced to empty food from their fridges, but people are finding ways to get through it.
We have a neighbor who's been sharing his generator. He has a mobile generator, so we're able to run our fridge and freezer for a couple hours at a time. We've been rolling the generator back and forth. So.
Utility crews say it may still be several days before power is fully restored.
The National Weather Service is warning beachgoers in southeastern Wisconsin to stay out of the water. Winds as strong as 25 miles an hour are causing life-threatening waves and currents in the southern part of Lake Michigan. Waves as high as 7 feet were in the forecast for Cook County, Illinois beaches. Now, boaters are also being advised to stay off the lake. The waves are expected to die down overnight. Today, United Way of Dane County, Madison Development Corporation, and city partners broke ground for a new affordable housing unit.
United Way initiated the idea with the goal of reaching family stability. 44 units, including studio and 3-bedroom units, will be located on East Wash in close proximity to schools and parks. The housing is available to those with a combined household income between 40% and 80% of Dane County's median income.
Stable housing is really a launchpad to self-sufficiency, and there are people working very hard to get to stability. They're doing all the right things, and still affordability for housing is out of their reach.
And she says this project is a stepping stone for those people to reach stability and independence. The housing should be ready by June of next year. Applications will be accepted starting in December of this year.
Coming up, a well-known former Badger, Melvin Gordon, is in a contract battle with the Chargers. Coming up in sports, why he says the solution is simple.
And a stretch of sunny days this week will feel a little cooler than the triple-digit heat indices of a week ago. Meteorologist Chris Reese. Your first alert forecast is next. It is an exciting week for one Wanakee martial artist.
This Friday, Mike Moe makes his major movie debut in the latest Quentin Tarantino flick, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's taken years of work in acting and martial arts to play one of his idols, that being Bruce Lee. Alongside actors like Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie, he spent months immersing himself in Lee's unique fighting style and mannerisms, that is, but Moe really started preparation for this role much earlier in life.
What kind of kid that watches a Bruce Lee movie doesn't get up on his feet and, act out the movement? So, I've been preparing my whole adolescence for this.
So Moe's passion is split between acting and teaching. Tonight, I will take you through Moe's journey to the big time, the ups, the downs, and the lessons he is passing along to the next generation. You are not going to want to miss Wanakee's very own movie star. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
I look forward to that, and we go to weather, something to look forward to as well. That we had that heat last week. Really feels great out there.
Yeah,
tonight.
It really does. We had that cold front come through Saturday night, and the second day after a cold front is the coldest day. That's some good advice just to keep in mind as we go forward through the year. But today was the cooler of the days. In fact, you'll see that, noticing that we're still colder now than we were at this time yesterday. Not by a lot at this point, still by about 4 to 6 degrees, especially as you work your way towards southern and eastern Wisconsin. But then temperatures are still on a milder note. 76 out there right now. These were the high temperatures. Actually, we are 1 degree colder than that at the moment. Viroqua made it to 74 today. La Crosse was about the only spot in the state that did hit 80. Watertown was warmer than 66, but their thermometer did go down at one point throughout the day. Normally, we see our temperatures right around 82 for those highs, but with that cold front that came on through, that certainly didn't happen. So it was a little bit of a change of pace, being below average compared to the above average temperatures we have seen. Now it's crystal blue sky, the air temperature 75, wind still out of the north at 8 miles per hour. As long as we keep that northerly wind around, it's going to be very comfortable. The dew point 50 right now, and still winds coming out of the north, 75 in Janesville, 73 in Monroe, Camp Douglas at 79 degrees right now. Here are those dew points into the low 50s and even upper 40s. This is kind of that fall-like air taking over, so it doesn't feel super humid out there. It's actually very comfortable, downright pleasant at times as well. We're going to keep that around for some time, folks. With the dry air in place, we don't have to worry about any chances for showers or thunderstorms as well. All of the upper Midwest is free of the shower and thunderstorm activity as we speak. If you want to find the showers and thunderstorms, you've actually got to work your way down towards the south and east, parts of the Ohio Valley, parts of the Appalachians, getting in on the shower and thunderstorm activity right now. That's where the cold front is. That continues to push south and east. Meanwhile, this region of high pressure, that's going to be staying in control, keeping the sunshine around, going through today, going through tomorrow, likely going through the next day as well. One period of time we'll want to watch as this kind of gradually works its way to our south. Eventually, our winds become more southerly. That's when we begin to warm up a little bit. We'll start to see a little bit more in the way of some humidity at that point as well. But in the meantime, the northerly wind sticks around. Look for overnight lows to fall into the upper 50s. Towards tomorrow, we're going to warm up. This is lunchtime tomorrow. Look for temperatures right around 76, topping out around 80. One thing we're going to watch, the model trying to show some showers showing up due to a lake breeze, but I do think that the air is going to be just dry enough that all of us should stay dry into tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night will cool down to about 60. Then on Wednesday, we'll see those temperatures back into the low 80s. Again, folks, this is what we're going to see going through the end of the week. Again, more sunshine towards the weekend, but that's where we'll be just a little bit more humid with the chance for some showers and thunderstorms at times. I think the bigger chance is going to be along a cold front. Next Monday, the sends temperatures back down to average for this time of the year.
Torrin Young was one of the state's best running backs at Monona Grove High School. Now it looks like he's ready to take over at Iowa. We'll hear from him in sports. The Brewers are back home to open a series with the Cincinnati Reds tonight at Miller Park just after 7 o'clock. They're trying to deal with a significant injury to their pitching staff. Yesterday in the 4th inning of their win at Arizona, Brandon Woodruff, who was the ace of the staff, suffered a strained left oblique. That's the kind of injury that can take at least 6 weeks to heal. Woodruff was placed on the 10-day injured list, but will obviously be out probably longer than that. Woodruff is 11-3 with a 3.53 earned run average this season. After Monona Grove running back Torrin Young left high school, we didn't hear all that much about him at the University of Iowa the last few years. This year could be different. Young rushed for almost 2,800 yards and 28 touchdowns in his senior season at MG, then committed to Iowa. After redshirting his first year, he wasn't getting all that many carries right away. Last year, though, he had 637 yards on 136 carries. And even though there are 6 scholarship running backs at Iowa, Young, now a junior, should be the guy for the Hawkeyes. He thanks his coaches and teachers at Monona Grove for getting him on the right track.
You know, I came to Monona Grove, I was young, and I wasn't always the best student. And some of my work ethic off the field wasn't always the best. And they helped me develop that work ethic that put me in position to, you know, have some success. That's tough, you know, when you go from high school and being a leader, and then you get to college and you're back at the bottom of the totem pole. So it's definitely tough, you know, but I had some great guys in front of me that I was able to learn from and, you know, just see their experiences, and for them to share what they learned from guys before them was very beneficial.
Sounds like Melvin Gordon isn't any closer to getting a new contract. The Chargers appear to be digging in and won't give Gordon the extension he wants unless he drops his price. Gordon, of course, has said he won't report to camp and would sit out the season if he doesn't get a new deal. He's heading into the final year of his rookie contract, but wants more security going forward. Gordon says in his mind there's a pretty quick and simple solution to all this.
They could call me tomorrow, you know, and we can get things settled. So I got to take it every day as if, you know, I'm going in. You know, I don't change my ways of going about things. You have a routine, you follow that routine, and that's what I've been doing. You know, whether I miss or whether whatever, I want the Chargers to win the Super Bowl. That, you know, that feeling doesn't change because those guys that I've been there with are my brothers, and I want nothing but the best for them and me. And, you know, until further notice, I am a Charger.
It's a big week in Green Bay. Today, rookies reported for training camp. Wednesday is the day veterans report, and is also the annual stockholders meeting at Lambeau Field. Thursday, the first training camp practice under new head coach Matt LaFleur. Boy, the Tour de France is a wonderful event. Beautiful views of the mountainous countryside, just beautiful scenery. Isn't that great? What could possibly go wrong? Well, that's a clue there. Herd of cows on the road. One of the cows knocked over a motorcycle. They eventually got out of there, but hey, if you're a cyclist, you don't want to hit one of those babies.
Can you imagine coming around one of those corners
Kinda
and all of a sudden...
Tour of Hollandale or something. has those kind of problems.
They got fences down there at least.
Well, yeah.
Those guys just get free reign.
Oh, my gosh.
It's their land.
Some happy cows, yeah. Please move along.
Well, Chris, speaking of moving along, we're going to cool things down into the upper 50s overnight tonight. It'll be very comfortable.
See you at 10.